Hey everyone, it's Squatch Daddy here, giving you some more tips, tricks, and guides on all things Valorant so you can suck just a little bit less. For more content like this and to help a homie out, drop a like and sub as it really helps support me for the future. Valorant's been surprisingly good in terms of its agent selection so far, and there's been a lot of diversity shown essentially across all tiers of play and even in the competitive scene. Patch 1.07 hopes to spice up the regular formula and to really try to bring in even more diversity to what we see so far. This version of the tier list will be based on the 1.07 patch and will include all agents available at the time of recording, so future agents will not be included. The tier list will also be specially tailored to you, the everyday player. If you'd like to see guides on any agent in particular, feel free to let me know down in the comments and I'll be willing to cook something up. More specifically, I'll be rating all of the agents in the game based on how strong the agent is, and what their respective skill floors and ceilings are, and how this agent performs specifically in a solo queue environment and can be tailored for individual performance. I'll also be placing agents on the scale anywhere from S, A, B, or C, just to give you guys a frame of reference for where I place all the agents. And also, of course, to dodge flame, I have to let you guys know that these choices are my own opinion and therefore I invalidate all potential loopholes in my rationale and you cannot be mad at me. But for real, you might have a differing opinion and or different playstyle that may suit a certain agent, and that's perfectly okay. I'd say it's better to think of this as a meta snapshot to see what the current state of the game is and to gather context as to what agents to look out for, potentially pick up, or to face in your games. And without further ado, let's move on to our first agent being Viper. For early fans of my community, people may know me as someone who both truly loves and enjoys playing Viper, but also recognizes that she's probably not the best agent. She's been getting buffed over and over again ever since the release of the game, and it still seems like it might not be enough. In patch 1.07, she's received buffs to be able to use Toxic Screen before a round starts, and to also prevent her allies from decaying in her abilities. I think Riot's been trying very hard to maintain a solid balance between giving her changes to promote healthy gameplay, but not allowing her to be overtuned and completely take over games by not letting enemies see or move at all. So even with all of the buffs she's received, I still think she's the worst agent in the game, but as a surprising twist, I actually think she's a B tier agent, which attests to the current agent balance of the game right now, something up. I think Riot's done enough to balance the game to the point where there's no agent that's actually truly awful. Viper would be the closest candidate to that in the current state of the game, but after getting buffed literally like 5 times, I think it's enough. Next up on the tier list is actually Raze. Falling down from her previous grace as the premier fragger in the game, I find that she's been having a lot of trouble breaking through the current setups available in the game. She will still definitely have her place as a strong counter to agents like Cypher and Killjoy, but that relates more in a team environment, and when you're playing for something like solo queue, she's been losing a lot of her effectiveness. This is because so much of her kit is based around damage, and although you might think that she would succeed, she's been so nerfed that this isn't really the case anymore. I do agree that this can be rather unintuitive to think about, but her lack of solid utility and large reduction in damage has caused her a little bit to struggle. Joining our duelist friend in the B tier is Phoenix, who is what I would call an agent that feels really good, but in practice is much harder to make effective than you think. He's definitely the best B tier agent and has a very well-rounded kit that can work in a lot of situations, but he doesn't quite have the punch that some of the other agents in the game currently have. Just to get this out of the way, this does not undermine any of the value that he has in competitive play, as the free vision that he can provide and support utility he carries is absolutely crucial for team play. However, this is a solo queue tier list, and since high levels of coordination will be hard in that environment, he's not nearly as strong. Now moving up to A tier, where we find a good chunk of the agents in the game in this category. This further shows how well diversified the roster of agents in the game is right now. I do think that Riot will struggle with this in the future as they release more agents, maps, and potentially even guns, but right now they've got some really good parity in the game. So what I decided to do is actually break it down into an A- and an A tier to help separate these two. The first agent in the A- tier is Brimstone, who is your benchmark agent for providing a platform for easy to execute strong team play and provides a strong kit for controlling sites and executing engagements. In competitive play, he's a staple smoker that can be your ticket into engages and would probably be a low S tier agent in that level of play, but since solo queue is so focused on having strong individual performances, you tend to sacrifice your own KDA by playing him, and that's what generally results in you being lower on the leaderboard. And because the Valorant rank system does favor you being higher on the scoreboard, he fits the A- tier to me. Next up in this tier is Sova, who is another one of those cases who is absolutely disgusting in competitive play, but because of the less coordinated nature of solo queue, players will not be able to as easily make use of the great information he provides as a team. More often than not, Sova will not be able to properly pressure sites with this kit and will simply shoot his recon bolts willy-nilly without much luck. I still think that he can punish bad players, and if you study his lineups exceptionally well, you will be able to succeed on him without a doubt, but this takes an incredible amount of game knowledge, and most other agents will be able to have a similar amount of success while not being as difficult to play. The last agent in the A- tier is the one that has truly fallen from being a staple of competitive play, and that is Sage. Ever since her inception in my time in the Valorant beta, Sage has literally only gotten nerfed, and this has probably happened 5 or 6 times at this point. Riot has quickly realized that there are fundamental concepts in her kit that have just made her an absolute staple in all levels of play, in both competitive and solo queue, but they really pulled out the nerf gun this time and have toned down multiple components of her kit. She's generally had a fairly overloaded kit, generally speaking, but my take is that with the current nerfs to her wall's HP, heal reduction, and slow reduction, we are clearly tired of seeing this agent all over the place, and she is probably no longer the staple she once was. Now moving up to the A tier, where we'll find a lot of the agents that will either provide a high amount of effectiveness to your team, an incredible amount of self-reliance and capability, or both of these components. Killjoy leads this tier by being an incredible entryway as a reliable information-gathering sentinel. Her kit easily grants her enough leverage to hang onto her bomb site by herself, perform a retake, defend areas, and watch flanks. The reusability and flexibility of her abilities makes her really efficient both financially and when having to transport her setup. Her Nanoswarm has been nerfed this patch, resulting in a fairly significant reduction in her suppressing damage, but fundamentally she still stands strong as an incredible defensive pick. Also finding himself blasting up the tiers, Breach has gotten some insane buffs this patch and will be definitely bringing some spicy changes to the meta. Many thought he was actually God tier at first, due to his ability to unite teams and make hard engages, but as players slowly figured him out, he became a lot less reliable as a pick. However, with buffs to Flashpoint, Rolling Thunder, and his concussion mechanic, getting hit by his hard CC leaves much less room for counterplay, and he's ready to bring a lot of it. His Achilles heel is still that he requires a lot of team play, and this definitely is still gating him from seeing consistent play in ranked, but with these buffs, he's definitely going to be a menace for the attacking side. Reyna is also a solid entry in the A tier for her ability to rely on nothing but herself and essentially 1v9 games. Her lack of utility and reliance on gunplay makes her generally an awful pick in competitive play, but she can take the entire game into her own hands when it comes to your own ranked play. Reyna rewards players that actually deserve to smurf on their enemies and rank up using an aggressive risk-to-reward profile. Her self-healing, increased fire rate, and ability to solo outplay is perfect for a player like you watching who wants to focus on yoinking elo and does not need strong strategic play. Rounding out the A tier is another fairly self-sufficient agent in Omen. Arguably the strongest smoker in the game right now. Ever since he got buffed a few patches back, he's been an incredibly fun and rewarding character to play. Not only does he have high presence, reusable smokes, he also has by far the strongest flash in the game, and his teleports allow players with strong game sense to take over games. His kit allows himself to serve as both the smoker and flasher for your team, and picking him can generally round out a lot of different team comps. On top of that, he also has a lot of individual outplay capability through these teleports, which makes him an excellent pick in most scenarios and a great agent to learn and master. Now onto S tier, which is filled with agents that I think that are absolutely great for the environment that solo queue provides and will be able to fit into basically any comp and provide a great deal of power when used right. These agents also have incredible amounts of upside and can be a consistent difference maker in your games provided that you're good enough. The first one, which you might have expected to see here, is Cypher. I am fairly certain that he needs no further introduction as he basically does it all. The man is able to hold like an entire map by himself with his trips and camera. He basically also represents at least 2 players worth of vision at his best and can easily big brain opponents with safe cameras and information from tripwires. He also has a sky-high skill cap with certain tripwire, camera, and cage setups which can punish players that don't know equally as well. The amount of vision and control he can provide to a team is absolutely irreplaceable in the current meta and is what really pushes him above the rest of the pack. Joining Cypher at the top of the agent food chain is our beloved Korean speed chick in Jett. Able to single-handedly break many of the fundamentals of tactical shooters, Jett is definitely the most wild agent in the Valorant lineup and provides the maximum amount of potential for any player trying to pick her up. Her constant mix-ups and financially efficient kit allow her to thrive at points where other players may have to give up, and her knives basically give her unlimited potential upside as long as you are good enough to handle it. Jet represents the perfect culmination of what a solo queue agent should be, as her success is directly placed onto you, the player, and what you can do to single-handedly win yourself games or be the reason why you lose your games. This also puts you into the right mindset for solo queue and allows you to focus on yourself, which is the right way to do things. So that's my current meta snapshot for Valorant. Please make note that although these agents have been rated on a general basis, team comps are also very important, and finding the right combinations for your games will also be a big difference maker in what wins you games. Although right now, most agents in the game are relatively good, and since there are so few of them, you can't usually go wrong with most combinations. As always, hope this video helped you out, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Stay fresh, brothers.